everyone, how are we doing today? Welcome to the Runelords Legacy. I'm your host with your most, your DM Jared, and today we are playing Rise of the Runelords, which was Paizo's first AP, but his caveat, we're playing it in Pathfinder 2nd edition. Now, to tell you about their characters, I'm going to throw everything over to our amazing players. Dawn?
Hey, I'm Dawn. I play Nexen, the Stitch Witch of the group, who's looking forward to jumping back into things today.
Hi, I'm Ben, known as Krut, the Lizardfolk Barbarian, and we'll see how much I'll be running this session.
I'm Becca as Ranne, our wonderful Alces, who is probably out picking some stuff out in her garden. Sorry guys, last time.
I'm Carla and I play Kasaundra the Bone Oracle, and I am totally not a necromancer.
I'm Michael. I am both the characters of Malvolo, who is a puppeteer traps maker, and Collodi, his puppet. Yeah. And right now they're in a state of alarm, I guess, at how dangerous Sandpoint seems to have become in the short span of a couple of days. And is trying to stop Kasaundra from abandoning the town and leaving with her bags.
Yep. And so here on this channel, we really dislike our audience not interacting with us. So to tell you about how you can interact with us, Michael, why don't you tell them what they could do?
Me, I'm Michael. Hi. Okay, so yes, there are a number of ways that you guys in the audience can influence the flow of the game today. The first is, of course, with a $5 donation where you will give one of the fabulous players that you can see in front of you one of these cool little red seals. These are hero points, which can be used in order to afford rerolls and stave off death and do a whole bunch of really cool, fun, and awesome things. For the price of $10, you can actually give one of us a boon. The 7 deadly sins, each of which contain a specific type of magic that can be used in order to influence the game through spells, supernatural abilities, and such, shall be given to one of the players to use during the game. For $20, you can give one of us a natural 20, which, by the way, I do have an announcement. We did actually get a $20 bonus this week. Admittedly, it is for me. And it's not by me, by the way. I didn't just donate to myself, okay, just so we know. This comes courtesy of our dear fan, Rico. So thank you for that, Rico. But the natural 20 is, as it sounds, it affords one of the players a natural 20, which can definitely be the difference between life and death. And lastly, for the grand old price of $50, you can influence the game through a major artifact, item, or even noteworthy NPC that you will be able to control to a degree with the GM to, again, influence the game and do some cool stuff. Now, you can probably see just tucked away behind Eddie's head as well is a small HP meter. This is a donation bar that will, of course, go towards a boss bar. And once it is filled, we shall engage with a massive boss of some variety that the GM will throw at us, which offers much loot, horrible fights, and possibly death. But of course, that is to your pleasure. And that is our donations.
Thank you, Michael. And normally we would do a recap, but we're going to get right into it today because I have many plans. Becca. Ranne was spending much of her day out picking flowers, taking care of her garden just outside the walls of Sandpoint. As you were heading back, you did hear a loud barking, people yelling, a woman scream, and you kind of ran over to see what was going on. As you got to this house, it's a 2-family house, you heard a dog barking in danger. You heard shattering, kind of almost sounds of combat. A woman comes bursting out the door holding a small child in her arms and goes running towards the center of the town. as you're making your way around the house, you look into the window and you could see a large figure of a man kind of bursting into a room and then running upstairs, leaving your field of vision. You then hear the dog barking, and you kind of take a few steps back away from the house. And now to, widen your view and to see the whole house, to see everything going on, to understand what's going on, because this is outside the norm. You can hear people gathering off into the distance. With that, the dog kind of comes. You can hear its little paws scraping and scratching on the hardwood floor, and coming out towards the center of the doorway, you could see a dog, and it's scarred, and fresh wounds are on it, and it's limping. Has that one, paw limp is kind of up, held in place, and it's looking in confusion as if it was trying to follow its owner.
Can I rush up to it?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, poor baby. And she's just gonna kind of crouch down a little bit, so she looks a little smaller and hopefully not intimidating, because I know she's a stranger to this particular dog.
Mm-hmm.
Are you okay? Come here. And she's just going to try to beckon to it, not go up and rush it, because it's probably a little scared right now.
Mm-hmm. Leaning down, the dog, hesitant, but then notices your general aura, as that you have this interpersonal connection with nature and the animals. And at first, it does that like sniffing the air and starts to like hobble forward. And then with one last, step forward, it kind of collapses under its own weight. Its wounds are now bleeding. You could see that there were, being closer now, you could see there were a lot of wounds. These wounds were definitely not self-inflicted. They are, the dog kind of lets out a gasp, and its breathing is fairly shallow.
Okay. Can I scoop it up? Do I know if there's like a vet in town, or should I just try to go for it and work on healing myself?
There is no general vet. Hannah, which is a friend of yours, is an apothecary, and she is more or less the catch-all. She helps animals. She is, just anything that the general clergy doesn't handle.
Okay. Being that these wounds are fairly deep, it would take a little bit more than just a simple spell I could throw out at this point. I want to scoop the dog up and run towards her in her place.
So grabbing the dog up, Krut and Nexen, you now come, and as you were turning the corner, remember last week, you turned the corner and you were kind of standing at the house. You saw that little lemonade stand, iced tea stand outside, and you see your friend Ranne now rushing towards you, holding a small bundle in her arms. She looks sad, exactly like that.
Distressed.
What happened?
I don't know. I heard a lot of commotion inside, and then I saw this poor dog. I have to get it to help. I can't remember where exactly. Oh, which one was there? I'm so bad under stress. Where was she at? And she's like trying to look at all the homes and businesses, trying to find her friend.
What was there a gentleman inside?
Oh, yes. I think, yes. He was very loud, and he went upstairs. I couldn't see where he went in there.
Nexen's just kind of gonna look up at Krut and be like, maybe we should go make sure that he's okay. You've got this little pup.
Oh, gotta get it over. I have to get it to help. You guys deal with it, whatever that thing was that hurt this. Or I don't even know. I have no idea. Just
you didn't see anything?
I didn't. All I heard was just a lot of loud noise and commotion. Some woman ran out with her child. I don't know where she went whatsoever. And I saw this poor dog come out.
Yeah, we ran into them, and that's why we're on our way.
Okay. Well, you guys can deal with them. And she just looks down at this dog, this poor puppy that's whimpering and is just like barely holding on. Like, I have to get this one to help. I have to get this one to help. I have nothing else I can focus on right now. And she's going to spot the apothecary and start rushing towards it.
As you're kind of rushing away with this dog, you do see your friend Kasaundra and Malvolo heading towards the same direction that Nexen and Krut have entered. Nexen and Krut, you staring at this house, the door is wide open. There is the small amount of blood in the archway because of the dog. You can hear sounds coming from the second floor, and the window kind of shatters out. And, well, it doesn't kind of, it totally just shatters out. And you can then hear a loud boom. Sounds like someone dropped a sack of potatoes.
I think that's our cue, and I'm gonna rush inside and hope that Krut's following.
I follow through.
Malvolo and Cass, you make your way there just to see Krut's massive frame entering the doorway. A quick glance around, you do notice the small pool of blood in the doorway.
That cannot be good. I will create a barricade. Yes, that's what I'll do. Collodi, you maybe go and see to. Collodi's kind of just staring at Malvolo. Fine. Kasaundra, we should look at perhaps helping before Krut, I don't know, destroys this place.
I'm gonna finish eating my boar sandwich, which I was like angrily eating as I was coming, and I'm gonna be like, when you say we, I feel like you mean we, and I point to me and Collodi, and I say, I don't feel like you mean we, and I point to all three of us.
Collodi Collodi has his arms folded. He's like, yeah, exactly. How come it's always me that does the heavy lifting? Well, I mean, Malvolo's sort of tripping and fumbling over his own words. I'm
gonna say, if I have to go in there, I'm way littler than you, and that's all I've got right now. But we're all going in. There's a pool of blood. Is it Krut's? Is it Nexen's? Who knows? But we're going in. And then I'm gonna like push him.
It's not my fault. I just don't want it to be my blood.
I don't want it to be your blood either, or mine, or anyone that we knows.
Can I at least have a stick?
Sure. And then I'm gonna look for, like, as I'm pushing him, like a random stick.
You're quickly able to find next to that haphazard stand stall that the child had set up, like a plank.
I very, very ungraciously rip off like the L from Lemonade.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna use that as I'm gonna use it like as a boomerang.
Nice.
Yeah, the Aussie makes a boomerang. You know, it's just quiet.
I'm gonna hold the plank that I picked up and be like, and I'm just gonna hold the plank. I've got this plank now.
Like, I could do this.
Oh, if you've got a plank, I can make a hockey stick.
Okay, when you say that, I'm like, here's the plank. And I'm like, but come, don't waste more time. Push.
Yeah. What? Oh, he's not here.
The house is fairly warm entering Nexen, Krut, Malvolo, Cass. You could see there was food on the kitchen table, and the fireplace is still going. There is an eerie silence around the house. You do look around, you notice there are signs of struggle, chairs knocked over as if there was someone getting up in a rush. A plate of porridge is knocked over, dripping here and there. You look around, and then you hear a eerie coming from above you. There is a staircase.
Going
Krut
to
draws his
nudge.
sword.
Yeah, Nexen's going to just kind of step behind Krut and kind of nudge him towards the staircase.
I cautiously go towards the staircase.
Wonderful. Getting towards the staircase, you look up, and it goes up a flight, not too far, and again the eerie silence. There's nothing happening. There's just quiet, except for the crackling of the fire.
Hello? Is anyone up there?
There is no response.
Okay, I'm coming up now.
Krut, as you start to make your way up the stairs, going up the stairs slowly, cautiously, letting that warrior instinct take over. Make a reflex save.
Reflex save.
Yeah. Wonderful. So, as you step, the last step, kind of going towards the top, the maybe fourth step from the wooden step from the top, as you step down, it starts to creak a little too much, and you kind of pull away, you take your foot off, and it collapses in. And if you had stepped full weight onto it, you would have gone down into the stairwell. Looking around, peeking around, you do notice that this isn't like termite damage. This isn't damage or worn or bad built craftsmanship. Looks like someone had taken the nails out of the board.
Say to Nexen, just be careful. This was done on purpose.
That's a bit odd.
Am I tall enough to kind of? It was.
Oh yeah. It's these
okay.
aren't like
Okay.
these aren't like giant footsteps like stairs. They're just like your generic house stairs. They're just made out of wood. There is a red runner going down the stairs, and Cass, Malvolo, Collodi, as you enter, you hear Krut go, "Oh!" and then you hear a conversation coming from upstairs, and you kind of turn the corner following the sound, and you could see Krut pointing to something, and you overhear them saying something about the stairs are dangerous. Quickly start throwing people on the board.
Krut, have you found something?
Something suspicious upstairs. I'm going to investigate.
All right, let us know how you go.
Okay.
Collodi punches Malvolo. Malvolo gets pushed forward. Ah. No, I'm not an adventurer. I can't keep telling you. I make tiny little wooden ornaments.
Yeah, Krut will proceed to follow
Getting
the
up.
noise. Yeah. Go
Yep.
deeper
Making your way to the top landing. Again, that eerie silence kind of overwhelming this house. You look around and you notice there would have been a carpet, but it's all kind of rolled, like tumbled and knocked over. Nexen and Krut, please make perception checks.
Perception. Oh snap!
Nexen with the 20 out the gate. What?
High alert.
Yeah, that's so perfect. I'm so glad you got that. So, Krut, and Krut is looking around, notices, what I was explaining. Nexen being on this other level of like, oh man. You notice that there are kind of like grooves in the wood, not like someone getting dragged, but it looks like there is damage along the wooden rails on the floor. There are more spots of blood here and there. All of it leading deeper into the house. From your general understanding of construction of houses at this time, you would believe you're kind of on the family floor. This is where there would be most of the bedrooms and such. That's just general understanding.
Something definitely is doing some damage to this house, so could probably do a decent amount of damage to us as well.
I doubt it.
I'm gonna
Unless if it's
point-
a boar, then we're troubled.
I'll point out the grooves and blood trail and be like, we should probably follow these.
Did you say boar? I think he said boar. There's a boar up here. Cassandra, this is dumb.
I'm gonna push and I'm gonna look at Collodi and I'll be like, if there's a boar, it's here. And points. And then I'm gonna keep pushing, and I'm like, there's probably only people in this house. Although people are more dangerous generally, but I'm sure there's no boars.
Ew.
Malvolo, as you make your way to the top of the steps, your general craftsmanship kicks in, and you're able to notice that, again, the planks have been removed and the nails are missing. So normally when, someone took the nails out, and additionally, you do get the feeling that this was set up to trap someone, to catch them. And the fall wouldn't kill someone outright, but it would definitely injure to a great extent. And this is just your ability of being a healer and a crafter.
Well, as a trapper, this is definitely a trap, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. This is definitely 100% a trap.
Yeah. This is intent. This is a trap. This family that were living here, they wouldn't have done this. Something is here. Something's invaded and is setting up traps in the middle of this person's house. Krut.
Yes.
All right. There may be more of these up ahead. Do take care, please.
Okay.
Yes, somebody who has got the willpower to be able to remove tiny nails and hang on to them. If the nails are missing, that means they might be somewhere else. In a place of stabbing and poking.
Nexen's gonna pull Nyx out and kind of throw him up on the ceiling and have him kind of scuttle ahead and like peek down the hallway, and if he sees anything, he'll do the little like spider dance.
Spider dance. I'm all about the spider dance. The little spider with the bow on it crawls onto the ceiling, making its way down the hallway. As it gets down to kind of the corner, it does like a very aggressive dance, as if something is wrong.
I think we've got something up there. I'll kind of whisper to Krut.
Mm-hmm.
We've already been talking, but
What?
Just what?
there's something around the corner.
All right. I guess I continue around the corner, very cautiously. Very cautiously. Super duper cautiously.
I like it. Making your way around to the edge of the corner, you do notice a body laying down in the middle of the hallway, face down. It's obvious to you that this is a full-grown man, and they aren't moving.
So face down, I kind of turn over the body.
So as you make your way into the end of the hallway, you're heading down. You pass a few doors on your left and your right. In the center of the hallway, it's face down body. You turn it over and you notice it's a grown man. Their face and hands have been slashed up, and they don't seem to be very lively currently.
So this person is dead? Or...
They are breathing very shallowly.
Okay. Kind of, before I continue further, I kind of whisper, Nexen!
Yes.
This person needs to be helped.
Okay. And I'm just gonna reach back and grab Malvolo and kind of drag him forward.
Like China whispers down the chain.
Oh yeah. Okay.
We need some medic stuff. I'm guessing.
Oh, yeah, no, I can do that. I'll go fetch the doctor right now. Oh, no, wait, I'm a doctor. I'll go and have a look, I guess. Collodi, do you want to come? No, you go right ahead. I'll guard the rear. Bastard, I will disassemble you. Okay, all right, we'll do this. I don't know why, man, this is me, the player, talking. I don't know why this suddenly became so spooky. It became like, I feel like I'm playing the wrong type. Like, I'm playing Phasmophobia at the moment. So I'm kind of nervous about empty houses with creaking walls and shit. All right. I'm gonna walk up behind Krut and inspect this individual. As he's been turned over, I'll reach down for my medical toolkit and sort of take his vitals and start to try and patch up some of the wounds. Don't worry, sir. You'll be quite all right. I don't know if you can hear me, but it's just a flesh wound. I mean, theoretically speaking, most wounds are flesh wounds because your flesh is, of course, wounded. But that's not important. Just stay still. I mean, of course, you're still because you are unconscious. I'll just. You want me to make a heal check?
Please and thank you.
I'm just rambling until I get told what to do. All right, medicine. Here we go. That is a 14.
Checking over the body, trying to stifle the wounds. The person lets out a hard, and you notice that their breathing is getting worse and worse. The wounds, as you look them over very quickly, you realize are made with some kind of tool, not as precise as a scalpel or anything like that, but definitely a knife or a dagger. With that being said, one of the doors, Krut, to your left, kind of slams open, and I need Malvolo and Krut to make a reflex save.
No!
Nexen and Kasaundra.
No!
No! Can I use one of my hero points?
Sure, not a problem.
Okay, cool.
That's brutal.
That's rough.
I'm just gonna wear mine. I'm gonna have mine on my chin.
There you go.
I'm gonna see what happens.
If Malvolo dies,
Ah!
I'm.
Oh no!
That's even worse. Yeah.
Oh!
The odds of rolling lower than a 2.
Yeah.
And the consequence.
And it cost you a hero point to do it.
Yeah. Give it to me.
Oh.
Oh man, that's rough. I love you guys, but yeah. So, as the door swings open, Nexen and Kasaundra, what you see the door swing open. Sadly, the door opens at you, so it kind of blocks your field of view because it opens at you. Something comes tossed out of the door, and a bright light explodes as Krut and Malvolo both quickly look up to see what happens. This light just explodes, and both of you are dazzled or dazed at this point.
I am dazed.
My eyes.
The door slams shut, and you hear a creepy giggle, and then you hear like kind of scratching sounds as if something were like scurrying away.
Kaz is gonna look at Nexen and she's gonna roll her eyes and she's gonna say, I don't know why they always have to try and make it so creepy. Like, yeah. And then I'm gonna be like, it's not like you even have flesh hanging off of it. If it doesn't look like there's flesh hanging off of it, and if it's not scary, I'm gonna be disappointed. And then I'm gonna...
Maybe we should go find out what that was. And I'm gonna start walking towards the door.
Yeah, I'll walk with you and I'll say, it's always more scary when you don't know what it is. So let's just find out and be done.
Making your way over to Krut and Malvolo, noticing that both of them are like furiously rubbing their eyes. The man on the floor lets out a grunting sound as you realize he is not doing too well. But Malvolo has been able to stem the bleeding prior to getting flashbanged. We do switch scenes though. Over to Ranne. Ranne, you've made your way to the apothecary.
I need help. I found this poor dog in that home. It was just bleeding. I need help immediately. And she's gonna look down and like, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. And just starts like nuzzling it a little bit. Like, you're gonna be fine. You'll be fine. We need help now. She's gonna like, I don't.
Hannah rushes out from behind her counter, entering the scene. It's a young half-elf woman. She rushes over. Her abode is decorated with different herbs and plants. She starts to take herbs from different countertops, mixing them quickly into a poultice, and she starts to rub it on the dog. Okay. She looks at you, and she's like, "What's going on? Where did this come from?"
I don't even know. It was that house up front. It had a bunch of screaming on the inside and some clamoring, and a woman ran out and I was just watching things, trying to figure out what was going on. And this poor just puppy just came out through the front and it was bleeding. And I know we probably should have stayed and helped, but my friends are handling that. But I knew I had to come here and help because I knew you could heal him. She's gonna like clear some space on the table and gently set the dog down so it can lay on its side. It's gonna be okay. And she's just gonna hold on to its paw and just kind of kneel down. I thought that you might be able to help us.
She rushes to your side, mixing the poultice, and starts to pull up a cream out of the bowl that she was just mixing in, and she starts to rub it onto the dog. The dog whimpers every time the poultice goes onto a wound and a shallow cut.
Okay. She's gonna just like lay her head right in front of the dog. So like they're both laying face to face. And she's just gonna like pet the side of its face. Like, it's okay. It's gonna be okay. Just look at me. Trying to distract the dog.
Yep. The dog is like a pug. Just so that everyone has an image, it's a pug. And as you're leaning, putting your head next to it, it kind of licks out at you, like it's trying to like lick your nose.
Oh.
And the little, collar around it says Scout, and it jingles. And Hannah continues to rub this poultice in the wounds, and she kind of holds your hand. She puts a hand on your back, and she says, "It's going to be okay. I'll make sure everything that can go right will go right here."
Okay. Scout,
you
I'm gonna go check on your home, okay? I'm gonna go check on your home, and you stay here, and you be a brave little dog. You be strong, okay? And she's gonna kind of pet it and then like give it a little kiss
Yeah.
on its forehead and then boop its nose, as you must do with dogs. So it's gonna be okay. I'm gonna go find out and make sure your home's all right. I'll be right back.
Audio.
As you make your way out of the door, there is suddenly an energy. You feel it, and it reminisces with you. And you give a cursory glance behind your shoulder, and you see that Scout's wounds are healing a little faster than normal.
Okay, feeling a little bit more reassured, she can kind of put Scout on the back of her head, knowing he is going to be okay. And she's going to rush towards the house, just a straight fury right now, and figuring out who harmed the dog. Like, think John Wick angry right now. Like, you have hurt a poor innocent bug. Someone is going to pay.
I've created John Wick. Nice. I'm excited.
Just like she's not like breathing smoke, but they're like fumes. Like, that's aura now that is around her of who hurt this poor puppy. And just like charging towards the home.
You make your way through the first floor, hearing the commotion upstairs, as you can hear footsteps moving. At the same time, Nexen and Kasaundra have made their way over to Malvolo and Krut. Rain, as you're making your way into the house, you do hear scratching in the walls, as if something is moving around in the house. Definitely louder than rats. Rats you've heard before. This is definitely much more different.
I'm sorry, scratching in the walls?
In the walls. Like between the walls, you know, it's something's moving around in there.
Can I put my ear to the wall, like trying to figure out, like, can I tell what it is?
Sure, make a perception check.
Okay. And she's just going to lean her whole body, I hope nothing pops out, against the wall, and just try to figure out what it is.
As you lean, there is like a dud, as if something kind of like hit back at you, or is moving through different areas. And you can hear like scraping, like as it's crawling and skittering, there is a scraping sound following behind it, as if things are getting caught, or if something's like getting yanked around following along.
Can I follow that skittering noise as it goes through the home?
As you're kind of listening for it, and it makes its way up into the secondary floor area, and you're now looking at the ceiling, where you would know that would be the floor to the second floor.
Okay. I'm gonna make my way up then.
Sure. As you make your way up, you do notice a loose floorboard. A loose step, and you get your way to the top. You can hear a commotion coming from the end of the hallway.
I'm blind. Oh god, they got me.
It burns.
The darkness, it envelops me.
Nexen, your spider, what is it doing? Is it following, or is it still kind of at the corner still?
I probably would have left it still at the corner.
Cool. Peeking up just to, like, you know, pick up on what your spider is. This spider is doing a dance. It is definitely like trying to shimmy and shake to get your attention.
Nix, what's going on, bud?
It scurries over to you, and it's. Do you have a ability to talk to it? Correct? Like you have that. So, it tells you. It smells goblin.
Oh, what?
And it's scared.
There are. I think we got some goblins here. And I'll kind of
Goblins,
like
where?
tuck him back into my cloak.
Mhm.
Be like, somewhere around here. Nick's picked up there.
Malvolo's gonna swing his hockey stick makeshift club thing, and the only person near him is Krut.
I'm gonna start
Yeah.
swinging too. Goblin!
Oh god! Just wild flailing in this very small room.
Flailing out, everyone kind of takes a step back. I'm assuming from the two people swinging wildly at imaginary creatures, and with that you can hear thudding sounds getting closer and closer to the group from the stairs, like doom, 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 doom. And rounding the corner, it gets closer and closer, and rounding the corner, you see a familiar face with antlers.
Me.
Hi, Ranne. How's it going?
What are you guys doing up here? Have you found it yet?
Found what?
I think it's some goblins.
Oh yeah. No, but it's really funny watching Krut and Malvolo start swinging at each other. I reckon any second now they're gonna start clipping each other. But you know, I'm just waiting for Malvolo to remember that he can see through my eyes. But anyway, look, if there's a goblin here, right? It dug up them floorboards, right?
Right.
Look, old places like this. I mean, do I know if there's like a crawl space like in the floor or in the walls here that this thing might be in?
Collodi or Malvolo?
Collodi, not Malvolo.
Collodi, you could haphazard a guess that would probably be likely. They do large houses like this and old houses usually have good space in between.
Yeah, so they might be, you know, I don't know, in the floors and the walls and stuff.
They're infested with goblins. Great.
Gross.
So now we got to be the exterminators here.
Well, we might want to look in that door that opened a little while ago and blinded you two.
You guys
What
need
door?
help with the door?
Oh yeah, there was a door.
Move out of the way. Let me get this. That poor dog was hurt, and somebody is going to pay for it.
What
She's
dog?
going to charge forward and just try to rip the door off the hinges like she's
Jesus.
done before. Apparently, we don't like doors.
Nope. Everyone hates doors.
Doors have secrets. Get rid of
Doors
them.
have secrets. Making your way over to the door that they're pointing out, it is at the far end of the hallway. You grab the lock, the handle, and as you pull the doorknob kind of off the hinge because it would open out, and you notice a string going back into the door, and then you hear a clicking sound. You're going to have to make, I will actually have to make a attack.
This goblin Macaulay Culkin, this home.
Yep.
This is Home Alone like 8 or something.
Stay right here, filthy animals.
So as you pull, there's a clicking sound coming from the handle, and you now notice a small spine is sticking out of your finger. Looks very much like a porcupine quill. And around the wound entry, there is a nasty black tar-like substance.
She's just gonna slowly turn around and hold her hand up for the others to see. Does anyone know what this is?
So you are actually going to have to make a fortitude save.
Oh, what save?
Fortitude save. It's on your character sheet.
Okay.
Sorry, did I cut out?
No, you're good.
Oh, sorry.
There it is, fortitude. Gotcha. Does a 15 help me?
You are sickened 1. So that's not so terrible, meaning it's only 1 round. But you have your hand starts to itch, and you notice a rash is crawling up your arm as it's kind of like coming out from the spine, and it's causing you to have like a very bad allergic reaction similar to poison ivy.
Ah!
And you also hear a very creepy like sound, like a laughter, and then more skittering.
Great. Well, now there's no door handle, and I have an itchy hand.
Is Krut and Malvolo still blind?
No, I apologize. I forgot to take that off the thing.
This thing, it's resourceful. We need to be careful. I know. We could set fire to the house. No, wait, that's not good.
No, somebody lives here.
But
Yeah. Also, the town's made of wood.
I have an idea. It may be a silly one, but Ranne, Krut, come with me. Kasaundra, Nexen, will you help Collodi? Collodi? He sort of Malvolo whispers a few things. And Collodi goes, yeah, I guess that could maybe work. What I'd like to do is I'd like to give Kasaundra and Nexen one of the eyeballs from Collodi's head each.
Okay.
And then I want them to like sort of like find little holes in the wall.
Mhm.
Kasaundra to go with Krut and Nexen to go with Ranne. And then just sort of like use the eyes to like peer into the walls. And then I'll have Malvolo basically focus through the eyes and sort of call out, like, you know, he's in this. Well, you know, where like maybe try and see if we can scout or locate him out.
Yes. That is amazing. It reminds me of that TV show Real Monsters from Nickelodeon years ago. Yeah. See, everyone knows as soon as you say it. That is amazing. I would like to award you a hero point for using ways to run a summoner. That's really outside the box, and I love it. And with that, you are able to do what you want to do. It totally works. It's going to give you a little bit of a headache because you're kind of looking through, like if you're trying to look at two different TV screens at the same time, but you can handle that. Malvolo pointing out to Nexen and Kasaundra kind of like areas where they can like lift up the floorboards and kind of shove their hand in with this eyeball and look around with it. You're quickly able to notice that Nexen hanging out with Ranne, you kind of shove the eyeball into that door handle area, and Malvolo, you notice there is a goblin in there, and it's lifting up underneath the rug, and it's lifting up. So it's holding the rug in one hand, and it's lifting up like an empty plank, and it's trying to like go in, and it looks up, and it sees Nexen's hand with the eyeball just kind of like peeking around, and it's like hisses and jumps into the plank, and then all of a sudden, right under your feet, Ranne and Nexen, you hear the skittering sounds, and it kind of sounds, and then it quickly passes underneath Cass and Krut. If either group would like to try to like stop this creature from, you know, getting past either group, you may try. That's just going to be an athletics check to kind of get into the wood and grab this little scurrying beast.
Yeah, I would like to. Kind of like people who like spearfishing, like I'm going to be watching and listening on the ground, and then I'm going to just punch through the floor, I guess.
Yes.
Wow.
Do it.
Thinking the same thing. Pretty pissed.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Do it up. What's really
if they
cool
don't succeed
is Nexen and Kasaundra, you both may make a perception check to aid Rain
Ooh,
or
definitely.
Krut, because you're helping them. You're like, no, like right here, right here, right here.
Yeah,
just
I
make
will. I
those-
will definitely do that for Rain. So.
Yes.
Oh. Eh.
Okay.
Same
Nexen,
here. I'll try help.
you give Rain a +1, so Rain, you have a +1, and Cassandra,
Lame.
Cassandra, you're helping.
You're there.
Helping. You got this. So Krut and Rain, please make your athletics checks.
So mine will be a total 17.
17. Wonderful.
I already rolled mine.
Oh, you did. You did get. I see where you got. So Krut and Rain kind of start to head towards the same spot. Nexen, given like really good directions, like, no, it's right there, trust me, go for it.
Yeah, just a
And-
little bit more to the left.
and Krut kind of stomps, and you hear like a quick yelp, and Rain kind of slams her hand into the ground, able to reach down and grab this wood splintering everywhere, and you grab the foot of this tiny little creature, and you start to yank it out and scraping, scraping as it's trying to hold on, and you lift your arm up, and you got a goblin by the foot,
Oh my god.
and it is slashing and kicking and hissing, and it's saying many bad things that I wish not to say on the air.
I'm just gonna hold it out and kind of shake it a little bit. I guess.
Sure.
She puts her right fist in, she pulls a goblin out. She puts her right fist in, and she shakes it all about.
It's literally what's happening right now. Yeah. So you have this goblin, it's hissing and screaming. It's like, let me go! Ah! Filthy
Did
long
you hurt that
shanks.
dog?
Yeah.
Oh!
You
She's gonna
it.
shake him some more. That was a bad thing to do. Why would you do a bad thing?
Oh god.
As you shake it, some of its tools, quote unquote tools, start to fall loose, clattering around, and it's like, and it reaches up and tries to slash at your hand, and it's like, let me go, big woman.
Don't call me that. Can I just like? I don't want to be.
Can I
mean,
just
I'm gonna-
walk up and just punch the goblin?
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Ah!
Make a attack roll. 1 second. Just give me 1 second, because I'm gonna have to fix something.
Like unfair bullying at this point.
I mean, yes, you may make an attack roll. So it is flat-footed, so really not.
Speed bag style.
Yeah.
Do I just like
Yeah, you could just roll your attack.
my Lizardfolk claw?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Copy murder our information gathering tool person.
yeah. So at the statement of big woman, Krut kind of comes over and just haymakers the heck out of this goblin, and it if you've ever been to the carnival and they have those punching bags where it tests your strength and it just flies back, you see that little goblin just kind of whips back by getting punched in the face, and it goes limp, shallowly breathing, but it is limp.
Rain's just gonna stare at it like, what?
I'm just gonna walk away. Little so and so.
Collodi with no eyes sort of walks over and he goes 1, 2, 3. He just starts counting him out.
I'm gonna sort of go and give Collodi his eye back.
Oh yeah, Nex will hand the other eye and well, we think it was just the one.
Shh, shh, shh. And then I try and get everyone to be quiet so we can hear if there's anything more.
The silence is broken, not by creature, but by commotion from the outside, as now a crowd has started to gather around the house. You definitely do not hear any more scratching or scraping, and you could make a general assumption that this little beastie was the creature in the house, causing mayhem.
Maybe we should get this gentleman to the healers.
Yes, I agree. Krut, could you perhaps carry him delicately, of course? We need to take him to Father Xantus and have him seen to a healer. As for this, at this point, I'll sort of open up Collodi, and I'll say, just put it in there for the time being. Best not to, I think, panic the town. Yes, do we agree?
Do we want to, like tie up his little hands and feet before, so he can't like undo
that is a
clothing
wonderful
from the inside?
idea.
Yeah, I'll pull some rope out and tie some fancy knots.
Yeah, being a stitch
Hold
witch,
them out so that way Nexen can easily tie him up.
it's just dangling there, like arms limp.
Like,
What
grab
the one leg you're holding.
I just went to a whole different place as to this guy getting tied up. But anyway, we throw him into Collodi.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna look at this, and I'm gonna look at Collodi from the front, and then at his like essentially actual backpack. And I'm gonna. You could do this the whole time.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, hey, you want to see a really cool trick? Me and Malvolo, we used to have tricks, right? Watch this. He sort of flicks out his sword, and he gets ready to sort of stab himself, and he goes, no. Sorry, it's not rigged for that. But you can see, like, he's got, like, all these little tiny slits where he would stick swords and do the whole, the magic barrel thing.
The stabbing swords.
Yep.
And then I'm gonna just surreptitious. No, I was gonna put my bag there, but I don't want the goblin to have my bag. Okay, no, I'm keeping my bag. I'm just like, that would have been so useful so many times.
To also briefly explain the empty space in Collodi, but only because I actually haven't done this yet. Collodi as a summon has a special ability, which is an upgrade slot that I can actually put a snare in. So I can actually booby trap Collodi. I just haven't actually taken the time to figure out how booby traps work properly. So he's empty at the moment.
There's something in me that's like Collodi would be that guy who fembots it like from Awesome Powers, so it's an actual booby trap.
Yes, that's what I've got the costume for that too.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm not a good human being.
Having put the goblin inside Collodi, suddenly realizing Collodi has an inside, and making your way out, the crowd is fairly silent. Number of people have gathered around. The woman with the child gasps at seeing her husband. She rushes to her side, and Krut's kind of like making his way through, and then suddenly Mayor Kendra kind of rushes up and is looking at the group, makes eye contact with Nexen, makes eye contact with Kasaundra, and is like, "Is everything okay?"
It appears to be now.
And having said that out loud, she looks and sees Krut holding the large gentleman, and she looks at Krut and she turns to the group and says, our guard has saved the day, and the heroes have done even more." And the crowd kind of erupts and everyone starts to cheer, and a few people kind of rush up to Krut, and Krut, like, fireman holding this guy over his shoulder, is it's still trying to make his way through the group. And a few of the clergy come up and take the gentleman from Krut, and one of the local townsfolk comes up and lifts Krut's arm up as like the champion, lifting his arm up into the air, and the crowd starts to cheer and clap and really just like gets ecstatic that the group has victoriously saved the day from this whatever happened. They don't seem to care about what it was, just that whatever happened is over, and the heroes have done it. And a few people start to come up and shake hands. A few of them are being fairly aggressive, getting close to Malvolo. Actually, a few people come up to Ranne and are like, "Thank you very much, thank you," and they're reaching out, trying to shake her hand.
I'm gonna hold up my gross sick hand as a way to get out of this. Like, I'm sorry, I'm infected. It's very contagious.
And they're like, "Oh, you should take that to see someone. Do you need help?" And people are excited. Some people are coming up to Nexen and Kasaundra, and they're like, "Thank you so much. Thank you. Oh my goodness. What would we do without you? Oh goodness." And then, a few people kind of trying to kneel down to get on your guys' level to shake your hand. A few of the more excitable townsfolk are like making their way as if they're gonna like raise you up and get you on their shoulders, and then you see like you guys are, so they'll stop. They're not gonna get too close and get aggressive.
Krut is not a smiler, so he'll try and do like an awkward grin or angry face.
As Krut smiles, the crowd has this like gasp, like a gasp just kind of washes over, because they see a Lizardfolk, and they have that very, and from the images we have from here, for Krut looks more alligator than he does folk. So imagine a gator smiling at you and these very razory sharp teeth. And the crowd gasps, but the gentleman holding Krut's arm up kind of like, it's like, yeah, and then everyone kind of like follows along, being taken out of that stupor. And with that, the crowd starts to like motion and move everyone towards the Rusty Dragon. You could see outside as Amiko and Beth Ann are kind of like waving to you guys. You weren't too far from there. Ranne, as like the crowd's kind of moving everything, you make eye contact with Hannah, and she kind of like flags you down. She's like,
I'm gonna rush over towards her.
Yeah.
How is Scout?
And as you come over, she kind of lifts a blanket from her arm, and there's a adorable little pug, and it's bright-eyed and it's smiling. Its paw is wrapped up and it has like some bandages. Its ear, it looks like one of the ear it took. There you go. And it's super excited to see you. It's trying to lick you, and its ear has like a little nick in it, so there's like a little V that couldn't be healed all the way. And it's just super excited to see it made that personal connection with you. Twilo comes out and it like tries to lick Twilo, and Twilo's like, "What are you doing, man? Stop that."
Twilo doesn't like to be bathed.
Yeah. So Twilo's trying, like, it's sniffing, and it's doing an excited dog thing, and Hannah's like, "I'm so glad you came here. When you get some free time, do you mind stopping over? I was wondering if I could have a conversation with you." And then she sees your hand at this point, realizing, yeah, your wound. She like, you're kind of doing the same thing the puppy was doing with like the bad paw. And she pulls out the little quill, and that was still stuck in there, like a bee sting, and seeing the black, and she's like, "Hold on," and she kind of gives you the dog. So she now like puts the dog into your arm, so you again football carrying another thing. And
it's a very convenient way to carry things. Okay.
Yeah, and she comes back with like an oil, and she starts to pour it gently over the wound, and it stops that itching. And she was like, she then realizes she's trying to give it to you, is like, "Oh wait," and then takes the dog from you And then it's like, please just keep putting this onto the wound, and it'll heal nicely. You should be fine in a day or so.
Oh, thank you. You're such a dear. I appreciate it. I didn't even think about how you could help me with my hand, but seriously, do I owe you anything to help Scout out? I know it was just a sudden surprise, and you weren't prepared at all, and you took so many herbs to help take care of him.
You know, why don't you come back in a day or so, and when you have some free time, and we could talk that out. I actually might be able, you might be able to help me.
Oh, of course, of course. Yes. I'll come back. I'm gonna go check on my friends, but I'll see you in a bit, okay?
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You're a sweetheart. Have a wonderful day. She's gonna like be yelling over her shoulder as she begins to head out. Take care of yourself. Oh, I'll keep an eye out for Scout's owners.
Yeah. So Rain, you make your way, back to the group, and she's kind of petting Scout, and then with that, she's like, "Wait, did she just get like that sudden realization of like, whose dog is this? Like, is this my dog now?" And she's just holding it and petting it. Obviously she's not going to put it down. Its paw is still hurt.
Help! Someone stole my dog.
So the group makes their way to the tavern, to the Rusty Dragon, kind of to relax. Amiko's waving. Everyone comes in, and excitement. The town kind of just goes nuts. We lost Michael again. Is there a blackout?
No, I'm still here. I'll fix that.
Okay. I was like, we had this happen before. It's a fair question.
No, I'm still here.
Okay.
No blackout. Just a blackout.
Got it. So, excitement. Everyone's cheering. Food is being served. Amiko leans over the cast and is like, "Keep this up, man. We keep making amazing money. You're doing amazing. I'm so glad I was able to hire you."
I'm gonna say, you're welcome. We even brought Mayor. Did Mayor Kendra come along?
Yeah, she's following along, giving speeches and kind of like making the crowd feel comfortable, and not boisterous speeches, but she's just talking to the local people. She was hired as mayor because she was so in touch with the locals. So she's following along. She's equally as excited.
I'm gonna say we even brought Mayor Kendra. We might need a private room just to talk about what happened. Can we use? And then I'm gonna ask.
Yeah, she's like, "Yeah, totally. Go ahead. And then Amiko pulls out her instrument. It's very similar to a guitar, but it's not like a mute. Like it's has a long head, small square box, and she starts to strum and starts to play a lively tune on it, and kind of keeping the crowd excited. And Kasaundra, you kind of know your way through the Rusty Dragon. You're able to find a very secluded spot in the back.
I'm just gonna gesture to everyone.
Yeah, the group is able to follow along.
As Rain kind of moves through the crowd, just kind of gently trying to push people through, and she forgets that she's got the ointment on her hand and is just like leaving little gross parts. Like she moves people through, and they're like, "What is this?"
They're just leaving oil spots on people.
It's better than accidentally stepping on them. They'll be fine.
That's true. They could always go see Nexen and get new clothing made.
Yeah. Yes.
At a price.
We're really helping the economy here, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You thought Pathfinder was about adventure. It's about money.
It's about money.
Welcome to the Rise of the Rusty Dragon Inn. It's a 6-part adventure where we turn a humble Tianese merchant into a wealthy entrepreneur.
Yes.
And the theater, don't forget.
And the theater.
Are
Yes.
diversifying our businesses.
Business 101 played out.
Having made your way back into the back room, the crowd kind of goes silent as you're shutting the door, and the noise is canceled by the door being shut. What would you, Sandra?
You know what? I'm just gonna go for. Was it easy to open Collodi? Did it look like it was just like, "Meh," or was there like
you know those cabinets that you kind of push in and then sort of and then swings open? Collodi's like centerpiece is very much just that.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, so it appears the goblin commotion is not over, and then I'm gonna, like, quite strategically for the performance and the shock of it, like, lean on Collodi and press the thing so that as I lean back, the goblin should fall out, hopefully.
So the goblin is still knocked out, tied up very well, and it kind of just flops out of Collodi, right? That's how it would work.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Collodi's not really paying that much attention to that bit, so he sort of tumbles out of Collodi's interior.
No one obviously lunging for the goblin. It makes a clunk clunk sound as it topples onto the floor. And with that, it rouses up and it slowly opens one beady little red eye, and slowly opens another one. Looks around.
Can I pick it up and put it in a chair?
Sure. As
like
you're
a little doll, and I just set it in the chair and kind of rearrange him a little bit, straightening his clothes out. And then I sit across from him, just stare at it.
Bound, its little hands are bound, but you know, like a doll, you set him up, and he looks around, now wide-eyed, and keeping his mouth shut, and looks at everyone.
Rain's just staring at him, like head lowered, kind of like her eyes just peeking through her bangs. You hurt Scout.
Who's Scout?
Dog.
What dog?
It, there was a dog. Yeah, it was a pet of the kid, and I took it to the vet before everybody got there. She turns back. Okay. Wow, you heard Scout. The dog
and
the people.
And so hearing about the dog, and it's like, it's alive.
It is.
I should have stabbed it harder. I like how Dawn just shook her head no after he said that.
I lean towards the goblin like, maybe I should punch you harder.
Its one eye still fairly swollen from the first hit, and then it looks at you and it kind of sneers, and it says, "My mom used to punch me harder than that when I was bad."
That's not an okay childhood. Why would you say something like that?
It's the truth.
That's fair, actually.
Nexen in Goblin is going to ask it, what were you doing in that house?
Shocked.
Trying to kind of play the good cop.
The good cop to the bad cop. Yeah. Having heard someone spoken in its tongue, shocked, it responds in Goblin. I was in there because I was told to be in there.
By who? You did a good job of rigging that place up. Was that
the Longshanks. The Longshank told me.
Longshank.
Just general, as you speak Goblin, Longshank is the derogatory term goblins use for anything bigger than them. Because you guys use big swords, so Longshanks.
Not one of these folks. Someone else.
He looks around and he goes, "I don't know. All you look the same, except for this one." And then he kind of motions towards Krut.
Right.
And not use. And then he kind of like looks at the two, Kasaundra and Nexen, obviously being smaller and not considered a Longshank.
Well, that's interesting.
So, got anything good to eat?
We might be able to rustle something up if you can tell us a few more things.
Yeah, sure. What do you want to know? Name's Nilbog.
Nilbog.
Yep.
Uh,
I like long walks on the beach. I don't know. What else you want to know?
well,
Are there any other goblins still hiding in Sandpoint?
Hiding, maybe, probably.
Why this particular house?
I just do what I'm told. Stops me from getting hit on the head. But apparently not so well, because I just got hit on the head earlier today. And then it kind of motions to you to like cut it, like let it free. It's like, how about you you take care of this?
I'm not sure if my large friend would like that, and I'm just gonna point up to Krut.
So he looks at Krut. He's like, so you're the leader. You're the big one. All right. You cut me loose. I'll scratch your back. You scratch mine, as we say.
I'm okay, thank you.
Come on, I'll pick some fleas out of you. They'll be delicious.
I just flick him in his eye where I punched him, and then I
Like,
kind of, as my response.
He's like, It's like, oh, okay. Sorry.
You will tell us everything, and I kind of lean to, well, what do we say to him?
Well, what do you want to know? Like I said, long walks on the beach. Clearly, I'll eat fleas. Big fat ticks are delicious.
Were you with the attack earlier with the other goblins?
Yeah, why isn't this place on fire? This is all supposed to be on fire.
So this large shank told you to do this?
Yeah.
Guys, I'm not good with words.
Please, what was your name again? Nodwick,
Nilbog.
Nudgwill, Nilgrim,
Nilbog.
Bognig. Yeah, whatever.
Whatever,
Anyway.
man. Who let this one talk?
If you would, for one moment, please.
Mm-hmm.
I'll gather everyone to the side and I'll sort of whisper to them. This is... Rain, you were not here this morning when a small child came to speak with us. She demanded that we go and seek out the gravedigger because Father Xanthus was missing this morning, and we found him deep within a small chamber that was disturbed by what we suspect to be goblins. He was left inside of a stone coffin after saying that someone had struck him from behind. He's fine now, but the thing that struck us as strange was, well, goblins are quite small, and to strike someone of Father Xanthus' stature would require someone of quite an imposing height, if what the little thing is saying is true. Then there is someone who is working with the goblin, someone who is not themselves too a goblin. Maybe even someone from this town with a grudge to bear.
Oh, you think someone would have such a heart to do that? That's awful. Especially in this town?
I have seen how heartless certain people can be in this town. And I can also say that I have seen some people who are neighbors, friends, suddenly take quite dark turns. Better than anyone. And as though it would pain me, I do not say that anyone in this town is beyond suspicion. for this kind of act. But if we could figure out from what this goblin is saying some clue as to who this might be, then we can avoid a manhunt or woman hunt.
That's fair. We have to take that option.
Someone has cast silence on Kasaundra. Here, I have this potion. Drink this.
Yes, we should definitely stop any and all manhunts unless they're conducted by us to help. We should ask him where if he knows where the priest and his daughter are, or at least their bodies.
Oh. Frank's
Yes.
gonna just be kind of taken aback
Yes,
by
the
that.
bodies are.
I forgot to mention. You recall Father Toblin and his daughter Noalia, who may they rest in peace. Well, they probably poor choice of words. Their bodies were exhumed from the crypt which we found Father Xanthus.
Oh my goodness, rest their souls.
Yes.
Such a sweet family didn't need that.
Well, you see, they haven't been buried that long, so someone could call their souls back.
Yeah, we did run into some skeletons that attacked us.
True, this is true. I think perhaps there is something I could do in order to try and coax some information, or at least perhaps get Collodi to. Let me see if I may try, but we will try and ask about the missing bodies, Kasaundra.
Yes, and maybe let's start with the bodies. That's usually a good place to start.
Collodi, if you would. At this point, Collodi is like, oh yeah, no, okay, I got just the one. Collodi steps off to the side and begins to get dressed. He comes back, and Collodi's entire body has kind of changed and taken on a purplish hue. The wood grain is purple, and there are these large antlers sort of stuck onto the top of his head with these kind of patchwork like wings stuck to his back onto a harness. The boar legs that Nexen gave to Collodi are now attached to him from the bottom of the knee, giving him kind of this cloven hoof look. And he steps forward, and as he does so, he looks over at the tiny little goblin, and says,
"Alright, now listen, you worthless little maggot. You will answer my questions, or I will tear your soul from your tiny, wretched body. Where are the bodies of the priest and priestess that were taken from the crypt?"
With that being said, in such a boisterous, the goblin pulls its hand closer to its face, and you start to hear a dripping sound coming from underneath the chair, and there is suddenly the goblin, wide-eyed, it's like, and then looks at everyone else, is like, whose bodies?
I'm gonna just, as Collodi does this, I'm gonna lean over to Malvolo and be like, people think necromancers are scary. That's way scarier. Mine's natural. That's unnatural.
most of it's yeah.
There you go.
I sort of say, shh, look closer, and you can kind of see that it's mostly sticks and parchment that's been kind of stuck together. The only thing that's real on him are the boar's legs, but it's still just Collodi, slightly purple. So I'm gonna make an intimidate check to try and scare some information out of him. So I'm gonna try this normally. That is a
really
24.
Good. Yeah. He is thoroughly, well, the goblin is thoroughly scared. Nilbog. Nilbog looks at everyone and then sees this, and this entity, this thing now, and is like, nope, 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 the bodies, yeah, I know what they are. I'll tell you if and then kind of like leans in the chair and looks at the rest of the group, like leaning over to look at the group, like around Collodi, and is like, if you keep me safe from this, right, we're all friends here, and is like, look at, I love dogs, love them.
Just answer the question and you'll be fine, all right?
Well, the bodies were taken.
Yes.
Yeah, they were, and they weren't. They wanted them for the
Where were they
thing.
taken?
They needed them to do the magics.
Magics.
Mm-hmm.
I did. Is he saying this confidently, or is he doing the, yeah, that person who was breathing?
This sounds like necromancy. This sounds exactly like what we thought it was.
No,
He's corroborating my story, and I believe him entirely.
You could tell. So a passive glance or even understanding of like body language and stuff, you're definitely talking to a person who's just saying whatever you want to hear, but very poorly saying whatever you want to hear. They are scared. Like, let me make this very clear. Nilbog has relinquished a lot of his bodily fluids after hearing this, and is visibly shaken. But you're kind of asking the bottom of the totem pole, what's going on at the top of the totem pole?
Okay.
Maybe we should ask what the Longshanks, and I'm gonna look at Nexen. Who they are.
He didn't seem to know exactly, but we can certainly ask again.
Or what they look like.
Mm.
Tall, very tall, like and then kind of looks at Malvolo and Ranne, is like in between them, like the two of them, like, he's like, he keeps motioning with his bound up hands, like, tall and pointy eared. Yep. Pointy eared.
Okay. Well, where do you get your commands from? How does he contact you?
They well, our war chief tells us what to do.
Oh. We could find the war chief. That might get us some more answers then.
You should totally go find the war chief. I would be more inclined to let you do that. If you let me go, I'll draw you a map.
Or you could just take us.
No, I'll die.
And then I'm gonna look at Collodi and I'm like, well, it seems like these are your options.
Collodi kind of looks back at him.
And with that, again, the thing starts to shake, and it's now snot is running out of its goblin nose. It's like, and there's a call now for Krut. You can now hear suddenly, like, the Krut is being called, like, so, like, there is a small weird chanting outside the door. Krut, 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 Krut. And before we get into that, we will stop here for our 15-minute break, because I really want to finish this and I want more time at the end.
Woo! Yay!
Yeah.
So please stick around. We're taking a 15-minute break, and we will pick up with this. We'll see what's going on the outside and whether or not the goblin knows more than it's putting on. So we'll see you in 15. Thank you very much. Hey! Welcome back to the party. I'm super glad to see everyone still here. Looks like we grabbed a few more viewers. So, quick recap. Our group, our adventurous party, has captured a goblin, doing a quick interrogation in the back room of the Rusty Dragon, where Carla, aka Kasaundra, work. And there has now been a call for Krut, who has been working with the guards to kind of like come forward. And he actually just left to go help the guards. As you can see, he's back though. And yeah, so that's where we're picking up. The goblin's name is Nilbog, if you're wondering. And Collodi looks like a giant demon of sorts, patchwork demon, which is pretty awesome. So we pick up the group now hearing Krut, 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 and there's like a stomping sound coming from the front of the tavern of the Rusty Dragon.
We should probably see what that commotion is about. Collodi, watch the goblin. And Collodi's eyes just start to glow.
Come on, Krut, let's move forward. I bet they got you something nice like a fruit basket. She's gonna start leading everybody out.
All right.
Yes.
Proceed to go through
Cool.
the door. I'll poke my head out first before anything.
Sure. Looking down the hallway, you notice in the tap room area where all the seats are and everything, large crowd has gathered, and now they're calling for Krut. And looking down the hallway, you see Mayor Kendra, and she notices that you've stuck your snoot out, and she kind of like waves to you. And yeah.
What's going on?
With that, Amiko kind of turns the corner and rushes down the hall to the private room, and kind of leans over and is like, "Can you please come out here? The crowd wants a small speech from you." And additionally, Baylor's out here. He was the one who walked in looking for you, and the moment he said your name, the group just started to cheering. And I kind of edged them on. Also, they've been drinking a lot. So, yeah, if you can come out and just greet your fans, apparently.
Okay. I turn to the party. Apparently, I have adoring fans.
Oh, go speak from the heart. You've got this. We'll go stand in the crowd and cheer you on, okay? If you get nervous, just look at us.
No. I walk out. Begrudgingly.
I'm gonna keep giving like 2 thumbs up. You got this.
Nexen's just gonna lean over to Kasaundra and go, I really do not know if he can do any public speaking.
I'm gonna lean back and I'm gonna listen with a well-trained ear, and I'm gonna be, at the level of drunkenness they're at, I'm sure it'll be anything he says will be fine.
Greatest speech ever. Alright. I walk out with a hunch.
Sure. Stooping down, walking forward, as you kind of come to the front, you now see Baylor standing there, flanked by 2 of your contemporaries, guards, and the crowd erupts as Mayor Kendra kind of claps as you make your entrance, and the crowd kind of erupts. And she looks to the party, Amiko following behind you, and Amiko kind of puts a hand on your shoulder and pushes you a little bit more to, get you into the crowd. And Mayor Kendra looks and says, "Sergeant, your fine and well-trained guard here has done the town a much great service, as he has single-handedly captured a ne'er-do-well, and additionally has done a great service to the town by also fending off many goblins. I think we should honor him for his great service. We should give him an award. And the crowd kind of cheers as that's being said. And the sergeant kind of steps forward, looking at the crowd. He's very much a no-nonsense man. Yeah, we could definitely do that. Maybe in a day or two, we should do something like that. And Krut, would you mind telling us what happened in that house? Did you catch the culprit?
Yes, we did.
I am assuming they're alive or dead. And he kind of looks around.
And then kind of just like look at the other guys. Yes.
Yes. And then Ranne is going to just start applauding, hoping the rest of the crowd will just cover it up and help get it part of the excitement part. Like, yeah.
And a few of them start to cheer, and you can see that the other guards are very upset that Krut's getting all this attention. He is the other. He is the outsider, and the guards are kind of sneering that Krut is getting all this attention. But Sergeant puts his hand on Krut's shoulder and says, well then, in a few days we will give him a medal and everyone can come to his ceremony. We will have a grand day. How does that sound, Krut? Or now should I say quartermaster? And with that, the crowd starts to cheer, and the floor starts to vibrate with excitement and people stomping their feet.
Yes. Krut being kind of used to, I guess, the cheering. This is a different type of presence that he's not very familiar with, as I guess like the public speaking side of it.
Yes, 100%. Krut does look very out, like fish out of water. This is much different, and so everyone's cheering. A few men rush to shake your hand. The other guards kind of roll their eyes at this whole situation, and Sergeant Baylor looks to the crowd and says, well then, why don't we enjoy a wonderful night of drinking and revelry, and we could all hear the tale that Krut will weave for us. And the crowd cheers as Krut is now being put on the spot to have a conversation and to tell a story. But at that, Amiko steps forward and is like, yes, Krut has told me everything. And she starts to strum her instrument. And she starts to go into a wonderful song about how Krut single-handedly threw this massive rock and it smushed 5 goblins all in one shot, and everyone's cheering, and Amiko kind of gives you a wink of she got your back on this one. I'm not gonna force you to live through this living hell.
He now a lot of weight has been lifted off his everything. Physically showing that he's and then kind of nod back.
Nexen and Kasaundra, you hear from the back room, you can hear scraping sounds as the goblin is slowly trying to turn his chair away from Collodi. So it's doing that hopping, it's trying to get away from Collodi.
So as he does so, Collodi just sort of stands behind his chair and just looms over him. He spreads out his little cloth canvas wings just to kind of create a shadow over him.
Yes. The Nilbog is very upset by that. And again, still snot running out of his face, tears. He's just a mess. Think a 5-year-old throwing a temper tantrum.
Collodi takes off his head and then drops it into his lap and goes, boo!
With that, the goblin lets out a shriek and just which is audibly louder than the group outside, and everyone stops and starts to look at Ranne and everyone else. And then Miko like stops and is like, "What is like?" She gives you that look of like.
Malvolo sort of reaches over and starts wiggling a nearby door, and he goes, "Sorry, rusty hinges."
And she's like, "We need to get oil for that." And then she continues to play and kind of takes the attention away from the screaming goblin in the back room.
Maybe we should head back there and do something about that.
Making your way into the back room, you now see Collodi's head is sitting on the goblin's lap, and the goblin is all the color just drained out of its body and is just mouth kind of agape, just leaning as far back in his chair as it can, and is looking at the door and is shaking, like just visibly just shaking out of terror.
I'm gonna go pick up the head, just be like, sorry about that, and just kind of hand it to Collodi.
Collodi takes the head and puts it back on.
The goblin like leans forward. It's like, "I'm sorry. I swear I'm sorry."
Well, just you know that we're not necessarily folks to mess with.
I'll tell them. Just set me free. I'll tell them whatever you want.
I'm going to look to Nexen, and I'm gonna say, because she spoke to him in Goblin, I'm gonna whisper. I'm gonna say, "Do you think any map he gives us would be valuable?"
Probably wouldn't hurt.
Probably not good to go to their hideout with a captive, so let him free.
We can't bring him with us, but
Well, this
what if we
might
tied him up and left him somewhere safe for a while, like in a cave?
Well, actually, this might work to our advantage if it is as frightened of Collodi as it seems to be. Releasing it back among the goblin would simply spread rumors of a demon protecting the town of Sandpoint. It may dissuade further raids.
Or have the war chief bring something bigger to town.
Do goblins bring bigger things? Nexen, you seem somewhat familiar with goblin kin.
I've done a little bit of studying, but mostly just the language. They've got some interesting fashion and knotwork that I was very interested in learning and picking up. And in order to do that, you kind of had to learn a little bit of language so that I could talk to them. And oh, right.
Well, it's either that or we kill it. We surely can't simply lock it in a cupboard and leave it indefinitely. This is insane.
And then I'm gonna look at Nexen, and I'm gonna look at the goblin, and I'm gonna say, doesn't the theater need a stagehand actor to fit in all those monster costumes?
No,
Goblin's like shaking its head. It's like,
No.
And I'm like,
that is insane. That is insane. Are you kidding me, Kasaundra?
people will come from miles to see an actual goblin acting. When have you heard of a goblin actor?
I've never heard of a goblin actor, and that is the problem.
Exactly. We need money.
The goblin looks and is like shaking his head. He's like, I have beautiful voice. Look, listen, and I will always love you. See, I could sing.
Malvolo just points.
Well, it certainly would work for when we do the horror shows. Yeah, we usually have like a ghost show once a year.
I'd be scary. Boo. Ah!
And I mean, he could work on the stage work. The traps you set were really good, and just don't kill people. And then I'm like, Collodi, tell him not to kill people.
Collodi looks back over. He doesn't actually turn. He just twists his head.
If you kill anyone, I will find you. I will locate you no matter where you happen to be, no matter how small the tiny crevice you fit your weaselly, wormy little form into. I will crawl into the darkness and drag you kicking and screaming into an endless oblivion of pain.
With that, the goblin, at this point, is just so overwhelmed by like self-preservation, right? Like I'm just trying to survive, and B, terror at the fact that Collodi just twisted its head back into proper place, proceeds to cry and sob, and is now in like trying to put itself in the fetal position and is rocking in the chair. It's like, I'll be good, I swear, I'll be good, Nilbog, good boy.
I think he can live, and we'll set up a contract of some kind.
Sounds like
Fine.
a plan. Do it,
Ranne, what do you think? I mean, you know the wilds and the wilder creatures and stuff. These could an animal like this be of any use?
What is it so wrong to believe the best, right? I mean, look at him. He's scared out of his wits.
I'm witless, I swear.
See? It'll be fine. And if not, then we'll murder him.
You see Collodi's like jaw drop a little bit, and you can actually see inside his mouth his serrated teeth.
See? It'll be perfect. He'll get a chance at a new life, and you'll get new friends. She's going to turn over to Bob. You're going to have new friends. You're going to have a great life. You'll sign a contract, so you'll need to make sure that you hold to that. You understand how contracts work, right? Just think of it this way. Yes, once you sign, you have to follow through with it, or you'll die. Okay, good. You understand?
Yeah, I signed.
Okay.
You're going to have such a good time. The theater's a great place.
I'm excited. You're excited. We're all excited.
Yes.
Untie me.
Not yet.
Oh.
Malvolo will begrudgingly agree to this, and will probably make arrangements for Collodi at some point or another during the day to take the little goblin to go to I keep forgetting his name. Sidrak, yeah. To go to him and have him instigated as a assistant to the theater.
Yep, sounds like a plan. And
on pain of torture.
Yes, well, of course. With that, Malvolo will take the Nilbog. Nilbog kind of agrees to everything because Nexen, you were saying?
Before he leaves, I'll ask him to draw the map to the.
Sure. The Nilbog will draw a crude map of rain and even Krut. Looking over the map, you kind of have a general understanding of it, but it's very like zoomed in. And as Nilbog is drawing this map, Nilbog explains that the X's are traps, and to avoid those.
Got it.
And it actually looks like it's near water. Nilbog does its best using the pen and kind of looks up and is like, wine, and X is for some wine, and you get him like a little wine, and Nilbog dips his finger in it and colors like the wine color, so it's to show like there is water, and it's like drawing X's along this map, and it's a very rustic area. It's not excuse me, there are trees. Nilbog does the silly little happy little trees. This is no Bob Ross painting. But by all means, you if enough time spent, you could definitely figure out where this would lead to.
Okay.
And then we'll exit with Malvolo and Collodi. If anyone has any pressing matters, the evening would just kind of go on with a drinking. A few people will challenge Krut to a drinking contest. Kasaundra would probably get a few coins out of that. Nexen and Ranne, if you have anything on your docket, you would spend the evening with them, kind of enjoying the company of your friends and the new town you've now started to call home. Collodi would do a costume change as to not wander out into the crowds as a giant, tiefling creature, demon-esque creature. I'm assuming you guys would put the Nilbog back in Collodi, and Nilbog does not like that concept, but is willing to do it to stay alive. He eats him, just opens him, which is pretty terrifying. We'll just kind of have a nice evening would go by. The next day, if you haven't drank a lot, Krut, you're kind of nursing a hangover a little bit. Though it starts to rain. There was a heavy fog that kind of rolled in, and now it's raining. This isn't outside the ordinary. This isn't like some malevolent rain. It's just generic rain. Sometimes I say it, and people are like, "Oh, is it raining because of what we did?" I'm like, "No, it's just rain. It's just atmosphere." You're all kind of stuck in as it is raining. Nexen, you have your natural house that you go to in the town. It's the shop that you work at. Ranne, kind of being a nomad of sorts, a wanderer of the world, you are more than welcome to stay at the Rusty Dragon. I'm sure Kasaundra would have nothing bad to say about that and keep you out of the rain. Malvolo, do you have anything you would like to be doing? Costumes, anything like that you would like to create for Collodi?
During the period of time, Malvolo does some work at the Carpentry Guild. Just doing some general work, building pieces, creating small sculptures and the like.
Cool. Yeah, that's fine. Ranne, obviously kind of stuck in. Today would be the best day to start doing those tricks that you were trying to teach Twilo to learn.
We're working on our basic commands of like sit, stay, leave it, fetch. Simple things.
Yeah. You're not really at the put the treat on the nose, flip it off and catch it.
Yes.
Nexen, do you have anything you would like to be doing during your downtime?
If it's ready, I'll go and pick up the boar hide and start working on that cloak.
Due to, let me see, I think I said it was like 2 days it would take.
Yeah.
Something like that.
So probably not ready quite yet.
Not right now. You go by and you check, and they ask for an additional day, and they let you know again that it was all taken care of. Heroes of Sandpoint, such. Kasaundra, anything you would like to be doing?
I'm just because I'm not sure what Krut's gonna tell the gods. So
prepping him.
Well, look, I don't think he would do anything intentionally, but I definitely feel like he's the one who's like, and then there were dead bodies, and Kasaundra was totally cool with that. Like, it's not going to be good. So I'm going to, if I was staying in like a top floor room, I'm just going to try and maneuver my life that a quick getaway is possible. And then I'm going to put my getaway bag somewhere safe and easy, and then the coins I made.
Of course.
From Krut. Normally I would have given him more of the coins. But I've kept some extra.
Awesome. You've I'm glad to know that Kasaundra now has a bug out bag. And is setting itself up to just get out. So yeah, the day goes by fairly easily, nothing too crazy. Rain, Twilo totally has sit and stay, but leave it. It's not on. It just that squirrel energy. Just leave it. You're struggling with leave it.
Every time Twilo just stuffs it in his mouth.
Yeah, exactly. Just real quick, and so the day goes by, evening passes, just very slow, very fast. Not much to do on a rainy day in the town. Next day, it's much nicer. The fog and the overcast has passed. People are talking as the day goes on, as the morning act comes up. You start to smell the breads and the different foods being cooked and the bakers. It's a beautiful day. Everyone's really excited to have this day, and everyone's getting really excited because Krut, the new quartermaster, right? Krut's coming out and is going to be given an awesome new badge. And as you're going through the day, everyone starts to hear people talking about how the Goblin raid wasn't that bad. You know, they got Krut and these new heroes, and like no one's really. Some of them were like, "Oh yeah, I saw like a few goblins, and they didn't know what they were doing," and everyone's like downplaying. It's as if the town is like healing, and it's more turning into like legend and everything. And as you pass by, the baker, she kind of comes out, and she was the same woman who was giving out the breads that you saw that first few days, and she's always bringing you different kind of rye breads and stuff like that, and she's just fattening you up. All whoever passes that she knows is a hero, she's more than happy to give bread to. And sometimes she'll ask like, what would you like? So she's very much like, oh, if you have anything favorable, I would love to cook it for you. I've been working on the nut bread. If I could get a shipment of bananas, I have an idea for a bread made out of bananas, something crazy like that. Just anything I could you could think of if you want. Rain, you do have to stop by Hannah's. She did ask to see you in a day or so, and your wound does look much better.
My hand. Yeah, I'll make my way across to go visit Hannah. Knock on her door. Hannah, are you home?
With that, you hear a small barking sound and a scratching at the door. And Hannah opens the door, and there's Scout and Hannah looks at you and is like, so did you ever figure out whose dog this was? But please come in. She like ushers you in.
Oh, who's a good boy? How are you? Yes. I actually don't know where they went. I haven't been back to their house though I assume they live there. But to be honest, if they don't care and they haven't come looking for it, I'm not sure if Scout's the best place for them right now. So I guess it is animal theft. But it's for the best of the dog, right?
Yeah, we'll figure it out. I wouldn't worry too much. You know, let live and all that jazz. We'll be happy. So I'm so glad you're here. As you know, I do this, and she kind of waves to the store, and you see the different herbs on the shelves and stuff. She goes, well, this does make it a good living. I do also have a friend, and she was asking if I could do kind of like a floral arrangement for her wedding, and I haven't really had a chance to go into the woods, and I was wondering if you could go when you get some free time to go out and just get some flowers and stuff and really bring them back so that I could do a quick arrangement. And I know you're really good with the natural world, and you could definitely find some very rare and exotic flowers that they would love. She's a close dear friend of mine. We used to live in the same town. She used to live here, but then she moved to Magnamar, and you know the old story. She found someone, they fell in love. Young kids. And I'd really appreciate it. I would really, really appreciate it if you could give me a hand with that.
Oh, of course, I'd be happy to. I'm so excited. What a wonderful thing for your friend. Now tell me, does she have any particular favorite colors that she'd like, or more floral, or more greens, or vines even? There's a lot of options we can go with. Heck, even if you take like a few tree branches, sometimes if you arrange them the right way, you can make them into something quite beautiful.
I will leave it to your expertise. I trust you. and I know that you'll bring something lovely. She does love daisies, so if you find some daisies out there, I would appreciate it.
Absolutely. Those are they're lifeful. They just exude youth and loveliness and delicateness. I think that'd be an excellent choice. I will find you some daisies and some wonderful flowers and greenery to go with it. Oh, I can picture it right now. It'll be beautiful for her wedding night. I'm so glad that you asked me. Is there anything else that you would need me to do?
No, I really would just count this as a favor to a friend. And she kind of dips below the counter, and you hear a glass clinking around, and she pulls something out, and she's like, "Here, I want you to take this. I saw what happened with your hand, and I just want you to be safe. I really appreciate your help, and I just want everything, I want the best for you, and I really appreciate this. And I got a little concerned when I saw the needle in your hand and the dog, and it seems like you're getting yourself into a lot of crazy things, and I just want you to be safe. So why don't you take this?" And she kind of pushes forward. It's a small wooden box, very small. And inside are 3 different potions. And she kind of tells you, she's like, "This one is a healing potion. Just drink it and it'll really like perk you right back up.
Oh.
This one over here is an antitoxin. After seeing that terrible wound, I feel like you might need that. Just offhand, I kind of did it yesterday, and I, again, want the best for you and your friends, and I see what you're getting yourself into, and I just, again, want you to be safe. I don't want you to get hurt out there. And
You're so thoughtful, really. You didn't have to do this.
No, listen, it's no problem. We've become friends, and I really appreciate you helping me find these flowers and stuff, and I just would count it. I would just sleep better knowing you have this. And this last one, I've been working on it. I don't know if I've really mastered it, so I hope it works. It was very special, and I only had enough to make this one, so kind of make it last. And when you drink it, what I'm assuming would happen is you would how can I explain this? You would get tougher, and scales would grow like that of a dragon, and should make you hardier, and kind of ward off any kind of damage. So out of game, this is called the Drakenheart Mutagen. So just write that down. And that's just basically it enhances your armor class. Sorry.
This is incredibly thoughtful of you. I mean, yes, it seems of no intention of my own that we have found ourselves in quite a bit of a pickle quite a few times. I mean, obviously you saw my hand, but really, you are looking out for me in such a sweet way. I will find the best bouquet and floral arrangement for your friend, I promise. And again, thank you for looking for Scout. I'll get this back to you in no time. Deal?
Thank you very much, and take your time. No rush.
So she'll head out, and she's gonna drop by the inn just to let or the tavern to let everyone know, like, oh, I'm gonna go out and pick some flowers and invite anyone. Does anybody want to go with me? I'm just going to head out and pick some pretty things. And I thought, well, it's a nice day out compared to yesterday's rainy day, and if anybody would like to venture along with me, you're more than welcome.
I'll come with, as I need to, but I don't say this out loud, but like, as I think to myself, I need to replenish my flower stock, my perfume.
Sure.
Collodi and Malvolo turn and say, I kind of want to stay near town. I would just like to keep an eye on that goblin for a little while, just in case it tries to make a runner, and as scary as I might be, I will probably need Collodi to keep him in line.
I still
You
need
trust
to...
your heart on this one.
I still need to report stuff.
Right. Oh yes, our brave new quartermaster, and she's saying that, like, just kind
report
of punch him
to
a little bit on the
Mr.
shoulder.
Quartermaster.
Oh, we're so proud of you. You did such a good job. Are you going to have to give another speech today
No.
or tomorrow? Today is your
No.
award ceremony. I don't want to miss it.
No. I just walk
I
out.
swear. Look, I do not for a second think that Krut is, of course, without merit. But if I remember correctly, it was my healing hand that saved the man, and it was Ranne's mighty fist that captured the goblin. Look.
Oh, I don't need to be part of the story. That's okay.
Look, say what you want, okay? But I don't get a medal for going to the guild and building carpentry. You know, it must be nice to suddenly get the promotion for doing your job.
Do you want my badge?
I retract my snarky statement, and we'll go and look after small goblins.
Crap, just a question. What
Yes.
are you going to say? Let's practice. Let's practice what you're going to report to Baylor together.
Do I? Okay, yeah, yeah. You're the brains.
Okay. So we're going to focus on the house,
Yep.
and we're just going to say the goblins also ransacked the mausoleum
I thought
and
we
nothing
were
about bodies.
I thought we were supposed to not mention that, right?
Yes.
I can say
Yes.
the goblins. No, wait. Goblins did ransack that. Yes. I'm confused now.
I'm gonna cast give him cast guidance to assist him. And I'm gonna be like, Nexen, help.
You know, I do think that you'll find everything's going to be all right and fate's on your side, and I will cast Nudge Fate. Just tap him on the back.
And I'm just behind his back. I'm just gonna be like.
And the spellcasters need to both use level 1 spells in order for you to function as a human being.
Anyway, I gotta go.
So, excuse me. So, Krut, you head out of the tavern feeling stronger, more focused than you have before, as if things might be a little luckier and you seem guided today. You make your way to the barracks, and you come inside. You make your way through the crowds. A few guards leer at you, normal stuff, and you make your way to the back room. Enter, and there's Baylor sitting behind his desk, filling out a few sheets of parchment. He looks up and he says, "Krut, please come in. Shut the door behind you."
Shut the door.
Baylor stands and he, comes forward, shakes your hand, holds his hand out, and you shake it. I want to say thank you very much for doing all this. I very much appreciate you taking the lead on all this Heroes of Sandpoint stuff. I think having vigilantes in the town is terrible. The people are starting to feel that they can trust these random strangers more than the guards, and we need to reestablish our authority. I hope you understand what I'm saying, Krut.
Yes. Though it is a team thing.
Yes, of course. And with all teams, you are single-handedly the most important.
Strongest one? Important one?
Strongest.
Yeah.
Important and strongest. Yes, strongest is the correct term. And additionally, you are well trained to lead them. So what I feel, besides getting you this badge and this promotion to quartermaster, which everyone here is just super happy that you are taking this opportunity that other men who have been working. Anyway, I want you to stay with them. I think this is a great opportunity for you to really get to know them and to see how they work and to lead them and to make sure that the townsfolk know the guards are the ones in charge here, not these heroes of Sandpoint. And as you know, your friend Malvolo did mix with a wrong crowd.
Wait.
So if you could keep an eye on him, I
Uh,
don't really trust him that much.
you-
And
okay. That's okay. Why don't you trust him?
well, he was friends with the late Skin Sword murderer. He did know him, and they were friends. And I think there still is some kind of collusion there. I don't trust him with all these very weird things happening. I just think maybe it would be safer to have an eye on him. And I know as a guard, you are that lizard person.
Okay. I will do what I can. Kind of slightly confused, having like a mental argument with himself about this. Trying to take in all this information.
And so he quickly, Baylor wraps his arm around you and starts to usher you out into the group.
I still need to put my reports for the...
Nope, don't worry about that, son. Don't worry about that at all. I will take care of that. You're a quartermaster now. There is no time for that. I need you in the public side. Why don't we go? Come on. And he starts to lead Krut.
What?
And he takes Krut outside, and outside there's a small stage, and he's like, see, this is all for you. And this small crowd starting to gather. The mayor is coming. The Ranne and Kasaundra, you kind of have left at this point to go get the flowers and stuff. Nexen and Malvolo, you could have made your way down to the barracks area to witness his pinning. And with that, Baylor gets on the stage, gives a grandiose conversation about how Krut is the pinnacle of what the guards are, and Krut is mighty, and the town should not fear these goblins. They are weaklings, and they are cowardly. And Krut single-handedly defeated a dozen or so by himself and saved the town, put out numbers of fires, and is basically, Krut is now being created into this kind of folk hero, this like larger than life entity. And and then and then Baylor brings up Kasaundra, and the mayor takes out the pin, and she says to everyone, I'd like to thank Krut and the other citizens who have been helping. And with that, Baylor kind of like does like a hard like, but Krut is the hero here, and she's like, yes, but we also have to recognize. And they kind of do like a quick back and forth, and realizing she's now turning into an argument with Baylor, they stop and they give a pin to Krut, and everyone cheers with that. And Krut, looking paler than normal, as that he is a red dragon, but he is now in front of everyone, being forced into this new position. And Baylor says, oh, well, let's hear it for our new quartermaster, who will be protecting and serving the town to his best efforts. If you see him in town, do your best to help him, and anything he needs, please aid him. And the town's like, yeah, and a few people are like, yeah.
And worse, one person's like, boo. It's me. I'm that.
Is that Collodi?
No, it's Malvolo. I'm so angry. I've got so many emotions, and I'm not going to say them yet. It's all meta, but I'm like, so angry. Okay, keep going. I'm fine.
Sorry. It'll all come out in the wash. And Baylor shakes Krut's hand. Sandra shakes Krut's hand. And they do that generic wave to the crowd that all politicians do. And they kind of take the Queen's wave. And they kind of take their leave of the stage, leaving Krut kind of out in the open. they come off the stage, and Krut's standing there, Malvolo, Collodi, and Nexen. You could see Krut visibly confused and shocked as to what's going on.
I kind of awkwardly just stand there for a good maybe 5 minutes before I kind of lean and just say something. It was a team work. And just awkwardly
walk away with that, like getting off stage, and you can make your way to your friends as you wind your way through with this shiny new badge on your chest, and people giving you the old pat on the back, yeah. And you make your way to Nexen and Malvolo and Collodi.
I just walk. I give my badge to Malvolo without talking to him, and then I just grab Nexen and I'm like, we need to talk.
All right.
What am I supposed to do with this?
Just walk away. And then I pretty much spill the beans of what Baylor said.
Well, that's it's certainly interesting. I mean, we've been doing quite a lot of help around here, but I suppose, feel a little insulted that they don't appreciate us.
Yeah, I'm confused. One side of me is saying, do what I'm told, and my other side is stick with the people that I know.
I mean, maybe we can loop the Guardian to some of the things that are going on, and they won't. That might ingratiate them to us.
I hope so. Anyway, let's get out of here. Malvolo, you can keep that. I don't want it.
I don't want it either. I'm going to. You know what? I'm going to enjoy this. I'm going to go to the edge of Jonker's cliff, and I'm going to use it as a frisbee, and I'm going to throw this as far into the ocean as I could huck this stupid bloody thing.
Yeah, Malvolo, you go out to the Junker's cliff, and you kind of just frisbee it out there. Krut and Nexen, you make your way to the Rusty Dragon. Becca and sorry, Rain and Cass. Sorry, I went back. I was like, well, nope, wrong people. Rain and Cass. You're in the woods, and you're able to find different things. You can make a survival check just to see if you get anything like superior or super fancy.
You said nature check?
Nature. Yep, nature would be fine. You want to give me that? You want to give a hero point on that one?
I think it's very helpful.
I'm gonna save it. Like, I'm sure flowers, unless I come with like poison ivy.
You're like wrapping yourself in poison oak, and you're like, this smells delicious.
It's just all cactus.
Yeah. You guys find a wide variety of different botanical stuff. Very beautiful. You definitely feel that, with some time, you're able to get it back to Hannah's and come up with a really awesome assortment of, different wedding bouquets and such. So that'll kind of end out your day together. Cass, when this is kind of like your first time meeting Hannah, you've seen her around. She doesn't really partake of going to taverns and such like that. So Rain, as you like knock on the door, you kind of have like this large Well, you would have a cart. She would have given you like a cart to wheel stuff back and forth.
Okay.
And not as cool as the cart you were promised, which you haven't gotten yet.
Yeah.
And you kind of come and Hannah, hearing you knock, it's later into the evening. She opens the door. There's your little pug Scout sleeping next to the fire. And she's like, hey, how's it going?
Oh, it was fantastic. We got some wonderful flowers. Oh, have you met my friend Cass yet? She's an absolute darling. Cass, come up here.
Hi, nice to meet you.
She was
Is
an
that-
excellent help.
Hi.
Oh,
My name's Hannah. I think I've seen you around town, but we've never really gotten to talk. How's it going? And she kind of, reaches out to shake your hand.
I shake her hand as well. I'm like, good to finally actually meet you. I'm so sorry. Is that the dog?
Oh, yes. Scout, come here. Come
Scout
here.
waddles over. You notice that he's definitely put a pound or two on as he's being overfed. And, he has like a warm tummy as he was laying next to the fire. And he gives everyone like a quick lick. As like, yep, I see you, and I see you, and I see you, and I'm gonna go back to keeping my tummy warm.
I'm gonna pet him as well, and then I'm gonna look at Rain, like quick, and Hannah, and see if anyone's like going to offer information about why this dog is not with its owners.
He's happy here. Look how cozy he is. And she's just gonna sit there admiring how adorable Scout looks, just roasting his belly at the fireplace.
I mean, if he hasn't tried to run away, he must like it.
Well, we figured that if the owners are concerned, they'll come find him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hannah's like, yeah, we're a close town. I don't leash him up, so Scout can do whatever Scout wants. And Scout seems to hang out here, so I'm cool with it.
I mean, it is a pretty cool place, and I'm gonna look at all the herbs and.
Yeah. As you look around, you start to notice that there are different flowers that would totally work with like your arrangement of how you like to wear the flowers to keep your scent normal.
I'm going to I'm going to point to Scout, and I'm gonna be like, do you think that's a tick, Rain? And then hopefully distract Rain with a tick, and then I'm gonna speak to Hannah.
I'm gonna get down on my knees and just start combing through Scout's fur, looking for any signs of a tick.
And Hannah's like, a tick? What? And then she additionally is going to like kind of move forward because she also is very focused about making sure animals are safe. And with that, you kind of created a decent diversion. At least you're giving yourself like a few seconds.
No, but she's also, as a dog person myself, I should have known. I'm like, no, it must have been a trick of the light. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna come back to Hannah's on a separate occasion.
Yeah. So with that, Hannah like takes everything, and she's like, if you guys need anything, please let me know. I'm more than happy to help you, to do anything. I'm really great with herbs and just anything really, and I would love to help my friend Rain, and her friends are my friends now, so don't even worry about it. And she's like looking at the group, and she notices that the little pug didn't seem to be so upset that you guys were like combing it, so everyone's cool with that. And Hannah's just like, so Rain, I know, if you can, I hate being a bother, would you and your friend mind delivering these flowers? They need to get there not today, not like in a day or so. Would you guys be okay with just dropping those off? I'd really take it as like a favor.
I think we could handle that, right?
Sure. Absolutely. It might be good to get out of town for a while.
Exactly. And you know what? Neighbors should always look out for neighbors, right? We can easily handle something as simple as this.
Yeah, and so they're going to pay for the flowers. So all you have to do is just pick up the coin when you get there. They owe us about 15 gold. So just they already know it's not going to be a problem. Just
Okay.
take it. And I was supposed to go, but I have a lot of stuff to do at the shop, and you know how it is. And I can't
You
really,
can
if I
rely
close
on
shop.
don't worry about it.
So take my invitation,
Okay.
and you stay for the wedding. I hear it's going to be beautiful. Eat and enjoy yourselves.
Oh, I don't think we need to intrude on the wedding itself. We'll just drop it off.
No. I think it would be rude to not partake of free wedding food.
We'll find a wedding gift along the way, and then we can stay.
Yeah, that would be.
Sounds
fair.
Yeah, I would really appreciate. I know I'm such a bother, Rain, and I appreciate this. And like I said, why don't we do this? We'll split the gold.
Oh.
You're doing all the heavy lifting. I'll split the gold with you. It doesn't hurt my shop. I'm keeping a day's work open by not having to close and take it. You could take my cart, and the horse, and and it's maybe like a 3-4 hour, ride out there, and then stay for the wedding, and then ride back at your leisure. You shouldn't have any trouble.
Well, you have certainly been accommodating. We can't thank you enough. And this will be easy for us to take care of. If you want, we really don't, I'm not concerned with being paid. Right, Cass? We'll be okay.
We don't need to be paid, but I'm sure the theater would love a donation. Wink.
Oh, I didn't even think of that. That would be an excellent idea. You have such a kind, giving heart, Cass. Oh my goodness.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, if you want me to donate, I'm so sorry. Like, obviously, wherever you want to, you know what? You're doing all the work. I'll just donate the whole thing. If I'm giving it to the theater, I love going to the theater. I love the shows. The costuming is always spectacular. I don't know who does it, but it is just amazing. It always fits really well, and I would maybe one day love to get something done by them. We'll see, but
I know you have such a kind heart. Look at that. Look at that. Kindness bringing out more kindness. See, this is what I like to do. Now we'll go ahead and take the flowers. We'll just keep it close to us before we head out, if that's all right. So that way we don't have to drop by and bother you one more time.
Yeah, that's fine. That's 100. Perfect. I love this. My aura is just glowing with happiness right now, and you guys should feel it. You should feel wonderful about yourselves, and just stay out of trouble. Worry about you all, and if you need anything, please don't forget to come here. I'll make whatever poultice or potions you would ever need, obviously at a discount for my friends.
Oh, thank you. Well, come here and give me a hug, and we'll say our goodbyes. And she's just gonna kind of pull her in and give her like one of those big old squeezes.
Oh,
yes, you've been dear. Don't be a stranger. She's gonna get down on the floor next to Scout again, like you're the good boy. Yes, you'll be the cutest best boy ever. Take care. No pooping in the house. And she's gonna get ready to head out.
Yeah, and Hannah's gonna give a big hug. And just understanding, expecting that like it's now cool because of what happened between Rain. She's just gonna give Cass a big hug. She's just gonna kneel down and wrap her arms hard around Cass and give her a hug and squeeze her. It says, "You are just the best. You are peach, and I appreciate everything you and Rain are doing for me. Have a wonderful evening. I really appreciate this."
You're so welcome, and those costumes. You know what? We'll bring around the person and grow this friendship circle. But it was so nice meeting you. And then I'm also gonna pet Scout, and I'm gonna whisper, "Sorry about the ticks."
The dog kind of like looks up at you and licks your hand a little bit, and then goes back to sleeping in front of the fireplace. And with that, you leave. Nexen and Krut and Malvolo, you've kind of made your way back to the Rusty Dragon. Coming in, there sounds like a commotion, and you walk in, and there are people sitting around the table playing cards, having fun, and you overhear the conversation that someone's talking about. Madam, sorry, I always have a problem saying this. Madam Mavishta has been having visions again, and her harrowing cards have been telling her of a great disturbance and that the dead seem restless, and they're all just kind of talking about it. They seem a little like Malvolo next. You know that Madame Mavishta, she's an older woman. She's actually one of the her family is one of the earlier founders of Sandpoint, and she lives up in a manor, a very old manor, and she, you know, she's known to read the harrowing cards, which are like tarot cards, more or less. And she's been talking about stirrings of the dead, and some of them are like, nah, that's not true, and some of them are like, no, I'm telling you, man, she did the harrowing. Like, she said I was gonna have a son, had a son, 100%, and they're like, no, man, you're being silly, and they're drinking and again gambling and stuff like that.
I'm gonna kind of sidle up to one of the tables, having this conversation, and just be like, what exactly is she saying about the dead rising?
And they look, and one of them's like, you don't need to know, and the other one's like, shh, let me talk, and starts to explain to you how Madame Mavista her cards have just been coming up negative lately. Like, even when like anyone asks anything, it always talks about how the cards will mention the dead aren't happy. They're restless. Something has disturbed them. A malevolent force is kind of coming onto the town.
Well, you know, I always do try and listen to whatever those cards say, because they, you know, when fate tries to give you a sign, you should definitely listen to it.
And so the one who's the most about madam, it's like, see, she gets it 100%, and the other one's like, you don't know what you're talking about, man. You make your own fate. Oh, she'll see the future. Oh, look at her crystal ball, and doing every one of those like silly, like, oh, spooky, and they all start to gamble, and they act like, oh, you want to play? Like, you want to sit down and
I'm not really a gambling type. I'll look over at Collodi, or if Collodi's there. Like, do
look, if I'm being honest, everything she says is true, 100%. I said, you know, one day I would fall in love, right? Craziest thing, okay? There I was sitting on the balcony of my apartment, and a strong wind, you know, blew me straight out the window, landed on a couple's picnic. Okay, yeah, fell completely in the love that they were having, broke up the next day. It was awful, but she was right.
And a few of them are like, see, he gets in, and then the other one's like, I don't believe, I don't think it's real. Any of that magic mumble jumble is silly. And
whoa, hold up. The primary physician in this town literally uses magic divined by the gods, and you're saying it's mumbo jumbo?
No.
Get out of here!
Divine magic's different, okay? That's established science. There's reading cards. That's crazy talk.
Well, it's just all about reading those signs of fate. But if you don't want to listen to fate, that's perfectly fine.
I don't know. And then he kind of puts down his cards, and he's like, see, fate's on my side. And he has like a royal flush. He starts to take the coins, and everyone's like, oh.
Yes. You know what? Just because this guy's a bit of a douchebag. All right. I'm going to say, hold up. Wait a minute. What's that in your hand? Now, I want Collodi to use a stealth check to sort of shake loose his wrist.
Yeah.
And to plant some cards in his sleeve.
Yeah.
And have them pour out onto the table.
Okay.
And for that, I'm going to burn my nat 20.
Oh, that's right. You have a nat 20. Oh.
Yeah.
That's
Take
perfect
that, you
time to
bastard.
use it.
Good play.
Good play. I was like, oh, this is going to be a high roll. No, don't even need to. Yeah. So with that, Collodi does like a quick, he's like, look, and he like reaches and grabs the man's like hand. And as he's shaking the man's hand, the card, like 2 cards kind of come out of Collodi's sleeve, but everyone's a little bit more inebriated than they need to be. And, they're like, what the hell? And then they all start to yell at each other. And the guy's like, I swear that wasn't me. And they're like, where'd the cards come from then?
And you hear Collodi's voice go, I saw him. It was him. Get him, filler.
And one of them like, and it just start to like push him, and they start to like tussle, and you know, friends being friends, the tussling stops, and Miko comes out and is like, what is going on? And she's like looking, and she sees like Malvolo and Collodi and Nexen and Krut, and you guys are just kind of standing there. And she's like, who started the bar fight?
Just a little cheating at cards. You know how things are. Bless his heart, he was not expecting to get caught.
Ah! And she kind of rushes forward. She's like, no fighting. And then she pushes one guy to the side, and she grabs the other one, puts her like hand and like sits him back down. And she's like, no fighting. You're gonna fight, you take it to the hagfish, not here.
Yeah.
And they all kind of stop, and the coins have spilt all over the floor.
Could Collodi have, you know, just sort of picked some of these up?
The coins? Yeah.
Yeah.
Roll a d6.
I like d6s.
Yeah, we all like d6s.
Oh,
You're on fire. You come up with 6 gold pieces.
Whoa!
Yeah. Well,
Damn. All right.
Is Collodi now the richest of all of us?
I am the richest.
Now Collodi is gonna strike on his own.
That's it.
Well, up to 100 feet.
Wealthy man.
Yeah. Behold. Next thing he's gonna do is buy a monocle.
As the fight kind of stops, Nexen, you notice that Collodi is picking up coins. And Krut has decided to just kind of sit at the bar. Miko is silencing everyone. The door is open, letting in the cool evening breeze, and in steps Ranne and Kasaundra. Miko kind of waves to everyone and gives you the general nod of like, make sure no one fights, please. Kasaundra, this is the first you're hearing of this, and Bethan hits the dinner bell sound, and she will be starting to serve dinner. And that's where we'll end today. As the evening ends, the group rested, relaxed. You have been through quite some trials, a lot of interesting personal dynamics, and for that we will all gain a level. So next time we will all be level 2. Congratulations, that's the big one. So please check out next week, because this is going to be awesome. And I want to say, thank you very much to our sponsors for this, Hero Forge, with those great pictures. If you didn't get to see them, they were amazing. Of course, thank you to Sirenscape for the great music, the different dog barking stuff. It's awesome. If you're doing any of this stuff, it helps. And of course to Paizo for the adventure. And I want to just throw it over to my amazing players who spend their Sunday mornings with me, or Sunday evenings. I appreciate it. Their Sundays with me. So please tell us where we can find you and your channels and such.
I'm Dawn. You can find me at Roll 4 Initiative, the number 4 on YouTube. I make videos over there with my partner Ryan, all about tabletop RPGs and our other geeky interests. And you can also find us on Twitter and Instagram at R4I Vlog.
I've been Ben. You can find me on Tabletop Explorers on Instagram and all that stuff. It's in the chat.
Hey everyone, I'm Becca Godsey. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Becca Godsey and on Twitch at CausticPheonix. We do Destiny, we're doing Borderlands 2, and during the week I also play some more D&D because you know what? More storytelling is what we need in this world right now. So here we go.
I'm Carla, and I'm from DumDumDie, spelled DumDumDie, and you can find me every Tuesday on Twitch, running a homebrew where our chat gets interactive and helps me co-GM, and on Wednesdays our podcast launches. Otherwise, we're on all the socials at DumDumDie.
Awesome. And my name's Michael. I am the DeadAussieGamer. This is my place. This is my face. This is where you'll find both of these things as I run a whole bunch of tabletop role-playing games, as well as on occasion I will do advice videos on my YouTube channel. I produce shows like this one, as well as a new one coming up next week called Winds of Wilderon, which will be a kind of Robin Hood from Disney's kind of Robin Hood inspired campaign. Which would be a lot of fun. And I also do some games with my Patreons who help support and fund my channel and all the cool stuff that I do. Yeah.
Awesome. And I'm your GM, your host with the most, from Nothing Ventured, Nothing Gained. You can find me at NVNG Podcast on Twitter and Instagram, and every Wednesday at 7:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at NVNG on Twitch. So again, huge thank you to our sponsors, Hero Forge, Sirenscape, and Paizo. Thank you very much. Thank you to my players. Thank you so much for being here. And please stick around. We will be rating Master_Zet98.
Oh, actually, sorry, I'm going to veto that.
We're vetoing that.
Yes, I have just learned that an ally to the channel, Orkenspalter TV, which is actually a German role-playing group that is run by a dear friend of mine, Mairi Stritter, is currently doing a convention and are currently playing Shadowrun. Now, keeping in mind, this is German, however, even though it is a German campaign, the audience is super friendly, do speak English, and are, of course, very welcoming and accommodating. So do be sure to send your love, send much thanks, and of course give them the good old-fashioned Aussie, Aussie, Aussie when we jump in there, because there's nothing more fun than jumping into a German stream with a bunch of Aussies. Even if you're not Aussie, just for this raid, you will be an honorary Australian. So there you go.
You're here.
Bye. Bye. Stick around.